Well, hey everyone, you're with Stuart, back with another repair video. In this one, we see if a novice like me can fix this sick Sony Trinitron. At the moment, the only part of the screen that's in focus is this bit in the middle. The rest of it is blurry. I apologise in advance if I don't use the best wording or terminology or explain myself in the best possible way. It's just me having a go at repairing my own CRT television set with the help of a service manual that I printed off and a cheap eBay Chinese copy remote control. Let's go. You're looking at my Sony Trinitron. This one we'll call a repair attempt. So I'll run you through it. Now this particular Trinitron is a Sony model KV T29 SF8, manufactured in Malaysia. Now I don't know the date of this, but I'm going to say it's a sort of mid 90s set with only composite and stereo, no S-video, unfortunately. So this TV was advertised cheap a while back. I rushed out and bought it because I always wanted a Trinitron of this vintage. This one is a 68 centimetre, was a one owner also, got plenty of life in it, it's nice and bright, colourful. Mostly it looked pretty good, but I could just tell something was off in the corners. Today I went through a couple of consoles and they all gave me grief, and I ended up with the PS3 just to demonstrate because it's got some text here. So we can see, hopefully you can see that. Can you see the convergence issue? You can see the red above the text and blue down below. That might be a bit tricky to see. And then above the 3 you can see it's multi-layered. You can see blue at the top and red to the bottom left. So basically there's like a circle in the middle which is a perfect picture, and it also is in a sort of a cross pattern. So this way across the screen is pretty good, and so is down the center. And then, like I said, a circle in the middle is good. And then we're left with these corners, which are really bad. So this video, I'm going to attempt to fix that. Now, I really don't know if it's like a capacitor issue or some other components have drifted out of value over the last 35 years, say, and whether it's going to need capacitors or something done later, which I probably won't do. I'm hoping, with the help of a manual that I printed off for this TV, to hopefully just make some adjustments on the back of the tube. I really don't know if it's going to help, but there must be some kind of an adjustment like you can normally do with other CRTs. Now this is a Trinitron, so it's built different to other tubes. There must be something that changes convergence. Alright, I'll get on with it. I'll remove the cover off the back and see what I can do. Well, actually, before I take the back off, I planned on using a test disc on the Commodore Amiga 500 that I have, but it's not working, and I think it's because I can't find my 1.3 workbench disc, and I think this test card was 1.3. Anyway, I think with this up here at the moment, it's enough for me to start with, because you can see how far out the RGB is in these corners. It's a mile out. So I'll just use this to start with, and I'll soon know if I can actually make a difference, and if I can, then I'll look at getting a test pattern on this screen. Well, first things first with the back off. I'm just looking, it's actually on at the moment, so I'm not going to get my finger too close, but I can see the white paint marks across the rings. When I look closely, it actually does look like it's been altered a little bit off what it might have been. It's a bit hard to tell. I mean, they're all in a line, but the little marks don't really line up as if a little paint marker went across it. Anyway, and that little red mark for the oh well, I can see the little bit of white glue is hasn't moved across the clamp for the deflection coil. But anyway, the Trini definitely looks a lot different to my arcade stuff, and we've got some pots there and there, and I'm not really sure what they do, but I think they're going to have an effect on the picture. But what's really great is I've been able to get hold of the service manual for this TV, and it has a fantastic few pages on setup of the picture, which talks about deflection coil or yoke and rings and purity and all sorts. But one of the best pictures is this one here that shows you what parts of the rings and deflection coil and adjustments affects what part of the screen. Now, I'm mostly out in the corners, and it says disc magnets or rotatable disc magnets correct these areas, and it is here on the next page, BMC hexapole. Now where did it say that? Anyway, operation of the BMC hexapole magnet. If the red, green and blue dots are not balanced, this is if you've got the dot pattern, which I don't have at the moment. You can bring the dots into alignment. They're the rings with the little cut out V-notch, and you can see them here. You can actually see a couple with the little V cutout, so they're the ones I'm going to have to move. So I'll have a bit of a fiddle around with it now and come back to you. Alright, I've noticed adjusting this it does something. See, when I turn that, let's try and get focused in on that now. See that they come more into alignment. They're still out up and down, but left and right gets better. So that might be part of it. Well, I went ahead and tested the Amiga test disc one more time, and would you know it? It works. So the guru reminded me that it boots up on its own the way he set it up, which is fantastic. So I think it just didn't work the first time. I just had a random error, and I thought that was it, and then I was trying to boot it from Workbench and I was getting nowhere fast. So anyway, so I have already done some adjustments, but now we'll have a look. We've got all these options available. Just by pressing a key and space bar to return, we can have a look at white raster. If anything, it looks maybe slightly brighter that side. Purity. That all looks pretty good. Static convergence. I can see this vertical line looks pretty good, but the horizontal line is color separation. Also got a bunch of other things here. Focus dots. I'm sure they will come in handy. I need my glasses to look at this, because without my glasses it looks okay. I put my glasses on and then it looks terrible. Well, down the bottom there It really is terrible. I see this corner where I put a convergence strip in is actually not too bad. This corner's alright. This corner's terrible. This bottom section is bad as well. You can really see the RGB dots all separate. And there's a bunch of things that I wouldn't need here, and I wouldn't know what they do either. Color bar test is probably a good one. Interference test, horizontal sync, vertical sync. I don't think I need to worry about that. Anyway, I will get on to adjusting this middle bit, which was dynamic convergence D. Now this is where I'm really out. I actually thought the center of this was actually in a good state, but now I can see these horizontal lines in this middle circle actually need adjustment. So I think that's where I'll start. According to the manual that I've printed off, I'll start to try get this center looking better, and then work my way to the outside corners from there, trying to improve that. So I've worked out I only need pages 13 through to 16. Page 13 was purely on purity, which I don't really think there's anything wrong with this set there. The main three colours and white looked okay, so I've moved on to page 14, which is really just talking about bringing the RGB dots together in the actual centre of the picture tube. So that's done. Moving vertically, adjust the V-stat magnet so the red, green and blue dots are on top of each other at the center of the screen. Moving horizontally, adjust the H-stat VR magnet so that the red, green and blue dots are on top of each other at the center of the screen. So I've got that, and this H-stat VR is actually this thing here on the neck board, this one here. That now this middle section looks pretty good, and you can see now out in the corners it's miles out. Now that that is done, it's talking about Y separation, axis, magnet, adjustment, receive the crosshatch signal. So now we're going to go over to the crosshatch signal. So spacebar, back to crosshatch. Was that the D? This one? Okay. Well, the center of this is actually looking better. Oh yeah, and this Y separation mainly talks about fixing a correction in the straight lines at the top and bottom of the screen, and this isn't perfect, but and I probably need to shrink that, but that bottom line is pretty straight. Do not separate the red and blue magnets too far, less than 8 millimeters. Well, it actually, I haven't. Actually talks about removing the deflection yoke again. Would that be right? Don't really want to muck around with it, but that's when it's talking about the use of convergence strips to fix the corners. So I think finally I've got my head around it. I'm all over it now, so I'll get stuck into it. Well, I'll just quickly show you what I did to get that test pattern, because I don't have Test Suite, which a lot of people use. maybe with a console or something else. But I do have a test pattern generator which I use on the arcade machines, which is just RGB, but I had no way of making that into, what is it, composite. So the guru made me this monitor test disc, and the first time I tried it, it didn't boot straight away, but we'll see what happens this time. So with the mouse, test card. See, this is what happened before. So retry. Isn't that funny? So retry, and we get something. PAL or NTSC. We want PAL. So error again, retry. Maybe it's not working this time. No. So worked last time, not this time. Anyway, you saw it working. So it did work. It's just only wants to work sometimes. Maybe working now. Well, there you go. It's come up. So enter any key to continue. This is just a warning about working on CRTs, and of course that is an important warning. So whenever I've got my hand in the back of a TV, I'm always thinking about where my fingers are. Any key. And spacebar. And then we're back to that screen I had while I was working on it just before. So dynamic convergence D. And I'm still out in this corner, so I might have a play just with one more strip into this corner. But then it's mostly pretty good. It's still out a tiny bit. Definitely an improvement. All right, well, I'm sick of looking at this test pattern. I want to see if I've made any progress. So I've run out of test strips now. All my spare test strips that were in here, there's a half of one at the bottom. It's still a bit out at the top, and maybe I need to correct a bit of a bow in it. I might be able to correct that pin cushion in the actual TV menu, make it a little bit better. Everything looks better, just except for this spot here. Alright, so I'm just, I've got an icon down in this bottom left corner, and you can see how far out the RGB is there, and have a look as I move a little convergence strip between the deflection coil and the tube. Here we go. I'm going to move it in and out. And hopefully some magic happens when I hit the right spot. There we go. It's quite a little finite adjustment, and that's looking way better. I'll just pull that back so you can see the difference. Pulling it back, pushing it back in. Better. Now I have just been using some old strips. I bought some new strips and they probably work better, because what I'm finding as I've been pulling off some of the old strips from the back of the tube and moving them around, maybe they just, because they're quite long from where they're stuck on, maybe they move a bit over time, or the little magnet. It's not really a magnet, is it? From what I've heard, it's some kind of, well, maybe it is a magnet, but a special kind of magnet. But I've just been using a bit of this double-sided tape on there and just recycling them. I have bought some new strips. Have a look here. This was from Etsy. They'll work out probably $2 or $3 each, but that's fine when you're trying to fix a CRT. And maybe when they arrive, they'll work better than these old ones. So that's just got some, this is like, oh, T-Rex super glue tape. So anyway, that's sticking to the back of the tube quite nicely. I just had to move this strip like 1/2 millimeter. So that's how finite it is. So you could see how over time those strips just hanging in there, because they're only stuck on the outside here and they're just hanging inside the deflection coil. They could shift over 20 they could shift over 20 years or more or something like that. Or the little magnety part weakens or something. Well, this tube started out with a lot of Convergence strips and now it's got even more. I'm just putting little blobs of glue on in the hope that I stop these moving like they obviously did in the past. The glue could always be removed if needed. Alright, well, they're not coming loose anytime soon. Alright, I'm calling this a win. It's not perfect by any means, but back to that workbench. And these icons in the corner look pretty good. This bottom right is probably the least good, but that's a major difference. And it'll certainly be good enough for me. And that was just fixing it with old Convergence strips, not new ones. So maybe new ones would have more, maybe, what would you call it, magnetic pull, being new, you would think, maybe. I'm probably not going to know on this particular project, because once I put the back on, that'll probably be it for a while, because I think I'm mostly happy with how that turned out. What we'll do now is go to Control Amiga and pop in something that might give us a bit of a screen. So just you can just see the blue line on the top of that white there. The The other thing I want to talk about is how I got this Trinitron. It did not have a remote control, so I did search eBay for a while, missed the opportunity on original remote, and ended up just spending the 20 bucks or something it was for this Sun, missing the Y of course, off eBay. And I sort of took a gamble on it, and sure enough, it works. I've tried all the buttons, and just going across back to the manual talks about how we can get into a what do you call it, service mode, and that's simply with the power off. So standby, display 5 volume plus, power back on. So we'll do that now. Display 5 volume up, power, and you can see we're in the service mode. So I've actually already been through the service mode, and what I did is on the next page it shows you here adjustment method, how to use the remote to sort of navigate all the adjustments. I just went through one by one: H shift, H size, pin amplitude, corner pin, tilt, V slope, V amplitude, S correction, and V shift, until I was reasonably happy with what I have here now. The hardest one was the pin, so pin cushion. It's got 2 different adjustments, one that just does the corners, and trying to work out where that best sat was the most trickiest bit, and it is still not perfect. So I wouldn't know how you would get it perfect, but it's pretty good enough. So I can show you now how we can maybe just do one quick adjustment. We'll just do the first one, H shift. So it's 1 and 4 goes through the list, then 3 and 6 is your, see, we can go set it there till we're happy. And then it was the mute button, sets it to right, and then 0 to lock it in, and that's supposedly saved. Well, that was really cool, being able to use the old A500 to get this Sony Trinitron in better working order. Well, that's the end of this video. If you got something out of it like I did, you know what to do, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.